Just dance, it's gonna be okay. Just dance.
Music games at parties have become scarce over the years. Gone are the days I remember of being over at someone's place, grabbing peripherals and playing Guitar Hero or Rock Band. Though we do have one franchise today to get moving to music as a party game, and it's especially pushed on the Switch due to the Joy-Con's built-in motion controls. That franchise is Just Dance, something I kind of hated when I first tried a demo years ago. But thanks to time, nostalgia for those old music party games, and the mother monster herself, or at least with how much of her music has been featured in the series, I was drawn in to give the game another chance. Let's take a look at the most recent and, I guess, final entry. Here is my review of Just Dance 2023 for the Nintendo Switch. When it comes to story, oh, you didn't know this game had a story mode? I didn't either! It's sorta hidden in the playlists that used to be on the main page when this game first launched, but now has been pushed to the side for Season 2 and the post-game content. Not that there's a whole lot going on with the story. It's all visual and very short little cutscenes where the player has to guess what's actually going on. The plot is about a young girl named Sarah at a party where these games are played and is pulled into the game world or dance-verse by one of the avatars. She then goes on a journey to recruit other dancers to challenge the nefarious Night Swan from taking over the dance-verse. And they plan on doing that by creating a small army to have a dance-off with her. Alright, so I'm not gonna lie, I got all of that from the wiki and not the game itself. You see bits and pieces of this in song transitions in the story mode playlist, though a lot of it is really vague. There's an absurd rabbit hole of lore the fans have found, or at least think they've found, about this whole Night Swan story with analyzing the music videos and having all kinds of, oh, this music video is actually showing how the Night Swan has kidnapped all these dancers. If you look really closely at this area, you can see her looking off in the distance. Though I do admit, the scenes that are there are a lot of fun and have some great charisma and color with the different characters. To the point where I only spent about 20 or 30 minutes with the characters, but I loved Sarah and Miani as more than just generic avatars. When it comes to gameplay, Just Dance 2023 is a party dancing game. As you trek through it, you play through music videos and use the Switch's motion controls to follow along a coach's choreography, trying to match them as closely as possible. Now let's talk about this game. 2023 edition is called Just Dance, and that's it. That's because this is the last and final edition of the game the developers are claiming to make. It is simply Just Dance, and all future content and games will be updates and added features for the current game in the years to follow its initial launch of last November. 2023 also made some changes from the previous games of the series. They added online multiplayer, cross progression via Ubisoft Connect to be able to not lose any rewards between platforms, and a more advanced dance card system to go along with the online multiplayer, letting you earn cosmetic rewards for your profile like dancers, emotes, backgrounds, and borders for your card. But I think the best and most important feature for Switch players is the download and local storage function. This lets you download the 40 songs built into 2023 edition to local storage so you can play them without being connected to the internet and be offline. The main downsides are the fact that you don't get to save your progress until you connect to the internet again and are on that same results screen, and you cannot currently download any of the post-game songs that came with Just Dance Plus. It's also worth noting that they recreated the entire game in Unity, and the game looks very different from previous incarnations. Recreation also means this is essentially a reboot. Not everything from previous games was a smooth transition into this new engine. 2023 doesn't have a lot of modes that previous games had, like Sweat Mode, Custom Playlist, and the World Dance Floor. However, all of these have been acknowledged by the developers this year and will be added back at some point. But moving on, the game is very accessible in the way it's laid out. You don't have to unlock content to be able to play. You can go straight into whatever song you want. That means all you little monsters out there can just navigate down and search for Lady Gaga, and boom, you can jump right into Telephone, Bad Romance, or anything else you want to play without having to clear other songs to unlock them. And as for the music, we do have a lot of variety here. Numb by Linkin Park, Toxic by Britney Spears, Bring Me to Life by Evanescence, Radioactive by Imagine Dragons. And once you start diving into the post-game content, you get a lot of real energetic party songs like What Is Love, the Numa Numa Dance. For a game I imagine to be nothing but pop music, it has a pretty decent range of genres. And that can all be enhanced with Just Dance Plus, the subscription service. By default, this game gives you 40 songs to play out the gate, while Plus is a service adding new songs every month, continually increasing the library. And for now, this is a plus, no pun intended, and also a downside. We currently have over 200 songs in the Plus service, which is great, though it is common knowledge that this service's predecessor, Just Dance Unlimited, had well over 600 songs. Plus will eventually get there and does have season rewards outside of just songs to play, but it's worth noting of that disconnect. Now let's get to the actual gameplay. This is a motion controlled game where you must connect either a Joy-Con or your smartphone with the Just Dance app to record your movements. This is where the Switch is at an advantage, and with this current generation, a big advantage. You can just use the Joy-Cons, while on Xbox and PlayStation, unless they've updated the game for other controllers, which I don't think they have, you can only use your phone, moving it around in your hand as you play. Anyways, this is set up like a rhythm game, but a little more in depth. You're essentially watching a 3D created music video of one or more coaches dancing and singing. Your goal is to follow the choreography on screen, mostly with hand movements. You have little guides of what direction you will be moving around, and you gotta match the motions to get good hits off in the game. However, the goal isn't to just follow the guides, but learn the dance moves and do them off of memory. Each guide is built for multiple moves and not just the one, so you gotta keep moving between prompts to keep getting hits. I say this because I found myself getting much better results once I played the Telephone Runaways edition enough that I remembered a lot of the dance moves and did them off of memory. Now going a bit deeper on things, this isn't really like fitness boxing where you can just flick the Joy-Con to register an input. Just Dance requires you to move your arms around a lot more than just a little flick, and while some flicks will register a little okay or a super every once in a while for the motions, you really need to move around the way you're supposed to. You can't fool it as easily as other Switch games. Now, as much as I'm not a dancer, I find this to be a lot of fun. If you have music that you really love and get into, like Lady Gaga has been for me lately, it's a blast to not just play the game to get points and unlock rewards, but get better at the routines and learning all of that choreography. And once you're done with each song, you gain experience, level up, and get little cosmetic rewards for your dance card, and move on to the next song, or play an entire playlist, or do whatever you want to do. It's that simple, and the structure is more like a party game where you don't necessarily just sit down and play through it for hours on end. Pick it up, play a couple songs, and move on. And then we get to content and length. As much as this contradicts what I said about this not being a game to sit down and play for hours on end, if you really want a time frame, it normally takes me 2 to 3 songs for a single level of rewards, and even with the 40 initial songs, that is still a good 2 hours of music, plus frequent songs going temporarily free from Just Dance Plus to enhance that, whether you have the subscription or not. If you want to unlock all the rewards, we're talking about dozens upon dozens of hours. And next up is presentation, and this game is beautiful. Every music video is colorful and all the animations look really good, all the way down to proper lip movement during many of the music videos. They put a ton of detail into references and little nods, especially to some of the more recurring artists. You might be tired of hearing about her, but the work and mimicry put into the video for Telephone is really interesting to dig through, with nearly the entire thing being filled with little references here and there to dance moves and routines used in Gaga's official music video. And the same goes for many of her and other artists' tracks in this game. Now with performance, songs play perfectly, no issues there, but the main menu is very laggy. This might be due to the always online nature of the game, but there's always a bit of input lag when moving around the main menu. And that's all I've got to say for that, so let's go into battery life, which is kind of low. The original and Lite models only get about 2 to 2.5 hours out of Just Dance, while the V2 and OLED models only get about 4 to 5 hours. Now in conclusion, Just Dance 2023 is filled with pop, dancing, and a feeling back to the days of using music games for parties. Now on the downside, the local download option only works for the base game, the motion detection isn't always super precise, and the main menu is laggy. But if you like the music in these games and dancing like you're a part of a dance crew, it can be a lot of fun to play. Reviews to Go rates Just Dance 2023 edition for the Nintendo Switch an 8 out of 10. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.